Alrighty, good morning everyone, and welcome to today's race. I'm Freelance1787, and I'll be doing commentary for you guys. So our two racers are Daikena from France and tHiAgOcH from Brazil. Both runners have a pretty close PB. tHiAgOcH has slightly ahead in that regards with an 11:41 PB in this game. Daikena has an 11:50 submitted PB time on speedrun. Should be a pretty close race overall if you've seen how this tournament has played out. We've seen some pretty nice upsets in the BC bracket. And in fact, we had a tiebreaker race. tHiAgOcH ended up winning that tiebreaker race, which is why he's playing Daikena, who's came out as the second place winner of Group A. tHiAgOcH ended up being the first place winner of Group D. So the winner of this race will play Level Engine in the tournament semifinal. Later today, you'll get to see the other semifinal where tHsnack plays SPD Wolf 1 versus 2 matchup. You'll want to check that one out at 2 o'clock Eastern time. So we're just going to wait for both runners to start their race. Interesting to see if they use control timing or if they're going to start their timer from the start menu, but obviously the race is going to start from the start menu. So kind of a bit of history in this tournament, kind of seeing how both runners have played. So far, Daikena won his match against Cantaloupe Me, lost his match against tHsnack. tHiAgOcH went tHiAgOcH beat ohEck and Sneck and lost to Implosion before the tiebreaker match. But in the tiebreaker match, had the fastest average time with a 12:35. Implosion had a 12:37. As both run for the two runners that advance out of Group D. He said this race will start pretty soon. It's going to come down to who hits more tricks or who fails the fewest. Yeah, interesting to see how that dynamic plays out. If it comes down to speed, I think tHiAgOcH has the edge. But if it comes down to making sure you don't make mistakes, I think Daikena does have a pretty good shot of taking this tournament. So looks like Daikena has already started off. tHiAgOcH's speed apparently is either way behind or I'm missing something here. Timer's running, but it doesn't look like he's playing the game, whereas Daikena is. So Daikena going through stage 1 without the stopwatch. It looks like his tHiAgOcH's controller is not working right now, so I think we'll be holding the phone on this race for now. He figures out that issue. Daikena's gonna get a chance to practice the back crit right here. Get to see how it works, I'll show you. The back crit itself is a frame perfect trick, but Daikena getting the backup kill, you kind of just see how that works out. He's gonna get a free shot at that bat. Alright. So we're waiting for tHiAgOcH to get either get his controller working or find another controller. We're gonna be on standby for the next match. As soon as both runners ready up, it'll be about 15 seconds in the race room. Before they start, like I said, the race will start at the title screen, as opposed to the difference with doing PB attempts where where the timer starts at control, which is about 9.5 second difference. So we're just waiting right now for both runners to be ready. Like I said, first race got shut down because tHiAgOcH's controller suddenly stopped working. Like I said, that's a tough break. It's a tough break to happen at the beginning of the starting match while we're waiting for these technical difficulties to. Well, looks like both runners are going to start off now. So tHiAgOcH ended up starting his timer at the title screen. Daikena started his timer at control. It's fortunately individual runner timers isn't the timing standard, so it's not a big deal. So tHiAgOcH getting the early stopwatch from the first set of zombies. I'm not sure how well versed he is at the stopwatch skip in stage 2, but he'll be in pretty good shape going into level 2 even if he doesn't go for it. So he does take a hit on the stairs. That's going to slow him down a little bit. Daikena also gets hit on the stairs, so it equalizes for both runners. Both runners entering stage 2 in the bat boost. So Daikena is going to have to go for a backup stopwatch pixel, which he gets. tHiAgOcH going for the stopwatch trick. He's going to be late on the bat activation. That's going to cost him 3.5 seconds. Whereas Daikena does get a successful bat boost. tHiAgOcH getting the bat boost as well. So the stopwatch trick is a double-edged sword. If you get it, you save 3.5 seconds. You miss it, you lose 3.5 seconds. Looks like we're going to get some resync here. Although I think tHiAgOcH is a little bit further ahead than what you see on the relative to his time. So Daikena misses the bat crit, but he does freeze the bat for the backup kill with the stopwatch. tHiAgOcH also missing the bat crit, but he's got that bat frozen up against the door. Whip him down. Both runners will be entering level 2 with the stopwatch, which allows them to do the fastest strats. Well, in a race setting, that is. First screen, you can use the stopwatch. Daikena rubbing up against that block. That could cause a little bit of an issue because, like I said, with screens with doors, you want to get through as fast as possible because these doors operate on a frame rule system. And tHiAgOcH does pick up 16 frames on Daikena with the faster frame rule, picking up that extra frame rule. It's like both runners are going to go for the big heart at the bottom as opposed to trying to farm 5 small hearts on the candles up top. Both runners successfully getting the Medusa head boost to skip most of that screen. You don't even get to see that right side of the screen as a result of that. Both runners using a stopwatch. tHiAgOcH has to stop for the holy water misted on the whip. They're both able to get a successful bat boost and their double shot multiplier, which they'll use for this upcoming boss fight. They're gonna use the holy water to stun lock this giant Medusa head boss and let the whip deal the bulk of the damage. Nah, holy water in this game is very overpowered. It keeps enemies in place and also not only keeps in place while you deal whip damage, enemies are... their collision is also disabled when they're stunned by the holy water. So you get to walk through enemies that are stun locked. You'll see that in level 5. And how that plays out. Yeah. Currently you're seeing that the 2 streams are synced based off the timers, and then which runners both started their time. I believe there was a little bit of discrepancy on when they started their timer. Like I said, Daikena is in stage 7. Gonna deal with some birds and skeletons here. Looks like he got a high bird spawn there. Not a big deal, you just take a knockback and just keep moving on. tHiAgOcH not that far behind. Like I said, they're close enough that K skip does factor in. could be a factor in the next level. Both runners picking up an axe, they will use the axe in order to pick up the stopwatch without losing any frames. I mean, pick up the cross without losing any frames. We don't want stopwatch. So Daikena takes a hit on the bone from the Bone Pillar Fireball. Wasn't able to get the potion, and if tHiAgOcH does manipulate a potion from the bird, that'll allow him to cross through the screen, and also puts him on a favorable drop table for level 4, so he doesn't have to worry so much about an axe drop, whereas Daikena does have that axe drop possibility. Daikena going for the classic bridge strats from back when Kamek was running this, first running this game. He gets a potion drop from the bird in stage 9. tHiAgOcH going for the Ouija bridge strat. Both runners have their double shot, and they're going to try and set up a quick kill with these mummies. In which both runners easily pull off. With this particular boss fight, both runners are waiting for the mummy hitboxes to overlap, and then they're going to throw crosses because of a multiple hitbox overlap glitch when you're throwing sub-weapons into those hitboxes, where it'll actually damage enemies on the 2 hitboxes on alternating frames. So in frame 1 it hits the left mummy, frame 2 is the right. Both runners entering level 4. Like I said, this run could come down to cave skip. It is a 6-second swing if one gets it or not. Daikena's going to have to pause buffer this one, I believe. No, I think he's got a... Never mind, he's got a good... Both runners going to get the cave skip, so... Still a very tight race. Going into Fleeman Alley. So Daikena picking up the long whip. tHiAgOcH will probably do the same as well. That long whip will allow him a little bit more flexibility in Fleeman Alley. You can actually do this screen with a short whip, but it's not highly advised in a race setting. Alright. Both runners have a favorable drop table towards that axe, so we shouldn't see one here. And predictably, both runners crush Fleeman Alley without too many difficulties. Both runners heading into the Frankenstein's monster fight. They have a double shot holy water, so they should be in pretty good shape for this stun lock kill. They use like with Medusa, they're going to use the holy water to stun lock Frankenstein's monster, and let the whip deal the bulk of the damage. Pretty much it's almost neck and neck. Daikena has a very small lead over tHiAgOcH entering level 5, I believe. So it could come down to how both runners end up facing, how they end up executing the Dracula fight. So Daikena gets a not so favorable pattern from the skeleton to start level 5. tHiAgOcH gets hit early on, so he's a little bit behind on his health, but there's safety meat coming up on this next screen, and you can still do all the damage boost. Daikena picks up the fast bone pattern from that skeleton, tHiAgOcH as well. Like I said, it seems like the game is giving both runners about the same amount of RNG, so it's going to come down to execution. Both runners are going to pick up the meat here. Daikena for safety reasons. tHiAgOcH because his health, because he's entering with 4 health. Otherwise, tHiAgOcH takes a hit from the Axe Knight. He's in a little bit of trouble here. His health is a little bit low, but I was gonna say it is possible to clear the rest of this level without taking additional damage. It'll be interesting to see if he goes for the meat in stage 15 or not, depending on how close this race is. For the most part in this tournament, the skill level between one runner and the next has been pretty close overall. This race is no different than the rest in that regard. Daikena's Stun locking that bone pillar, you kind of see how the Holy Water disables that collision detection there. And when taking the hit from the bone pillar, he got a pause glitch. So slow him down a little bit. tHiAgOcH takes a death, which is gonna slow him down a little bit. He doesn't have that Holy Water anymore for death. He's gonna have to pick up the cross for the backup. Whereas Daikena is entering the death fight with 7 hearts. It is triple shot Holy Water. tHiAgOcH is going to have to build up a triple shot with his axe. He can do that by hitting different enemies and hitting multiple enemies and candles in order to pick up multiplier. It's roughly about 8 hits per sub-weapon drop with the cross. So if he can take out death here, he's still in pretty decent position to catch up if Daikena slips up at Dracula. And unfortunately, tHiAgOcH gets a stopwatch drop from a Medusa head. That's going to set him a little bit further back. I think he's going to take another death so he has his cross. It's a lot harder to fight death whip only than it is with the cross kill, because when you don't do the stun lock on death, you're going to have a lot of scythes flying at you, and you got to worry about 5 things as opposed to 1. Daikena gets through the bat bridge. Dave trolling a little bit, but it was a fake out there from Dave. So now Daikena is entering the clock tower. He's got his 2 boosts off the skeletons. See if he picks up the meat here or not. And he does. Not sure if he's watching, but he's probably making sure he doesn't lose this fight to Dracula. Because a death to Dracula, depending on how deep into the fight you are, can be 50 seconds, could be even over a minute. tHiAgOcH having a little bit of trouble with that hallway. That Axe Knight is just trolling him right now. Daikena will enter the Dracula fight with 16 hearts. He's gonna try and manipulate a triple shot Holy Water throughout this fight. He's got a slow fireball pattern from Drac. He's gonna go for the 3-cycle crit. A little bit early on that one, but he does get the 2 hits. And you'll have, and the triple shot multiplier despawned just before he was able to pick it up. So he's gonna be, unless he can manipulate a double shot from the fireballs, it's gonna be a little bit tricky going into the Cookie Monster fight. All right, so Dracula's down on Daikena's side. So here comes the Cookie Monster. Without that triple shot multiplier, he's gonna have to worry about Dracula jumping a second time. He's got a hit to give. He's gonna manipulate, by crouching there, he's gonna manipulate a long jump, but after being pinned, Dracula just bounces off the edge of the screen and hits him anyway. Just needs to stun lock him a little bit more. Daikena takes out Dracula, and he will take the first race. Daikena ends up finishing a very clean run in this case. A little bit of a slip up against Dracula, but was able to recover thanks to the safety meat. So Daikena finishes the first match with the 1-0 advantage. It was a very consistent first race. Just as I mentioned, the Dracula fight went a little bit south there, but he was able to recover, make sure he didn't get put in the corner. And that safety meat ended up playing out well because he needed every bit of extra damage to finish off that Cookie Monster. Alright, looks like tHiAgOcH has forfeited the first match. Both run. Nice thing about a best-of-3 tournament is obviously tHiAgOcH will get a mulligan. He still has a chance to win this race if he takes the next 2. So we're just waiting for the next race. If you're Daikena here, you're probably going to go with the same game plan in race 2 as you do race 1. Just play a consistent, solid race and just put the pressure on his opponent to execute every strat in the game. Although, in tHiAgOcH's case, if it becomes a question of hitting all the fast strats, I believe he still does have the edge in these races. With the faster PB, and I definitely have raced. I've definitely seen him race before when we had weekly races back in 2018. Be interesting to see how both runners. Like I said, it's gonna be interesting to see how both runners attack their second race. So the strats are pretty close between the two runners, so it's still gonna be anyone's race. It's just a matter of who executes and who doesn't in certain spots. Getting ready for both runners to start up their second race. Alright, looks like both runners are getting ready to start. Waiting for the race bot. Like I meant, so kind of just resetting here. Daikena has currently sits with a 1-0 lead in this match. If he wins the next race, he will move on to the semi-final to play the level engine. If tHiAgOcH wins this race, it'll go down to this best of 3 will come down to a third race. And as we all know, with a third race and a best of 3, anything can and will happen. It's like we're just waiting for both runners to start up. And the second race is now underway. If it's anything like the first race, it's going to be very close with both runners trading back and forth. Right now, both streams synced up based on when they've started. It's going to come down to who hits one more trick than the other, perhaps. As I mentioned before, both runners trying to get that get the stopwatch. If not for the stopwatch trick, they're going to want to put themselves in position to go for the back crit with the stopwatch and do faster level 2 strats. Neither runner are able to pick up the stopwatch. Daikena does take a hit on the stairs, whereas tHiAgOcH does not get it on the stairs, so tHiAgOcH is going to take about a 0.3 second lead due to the knockback on the stairs that Daikena took. Both runners opting to set up a stopwatch pixel. Daikena does not get the stopwatch. tHiAgOcH does get the stopwatch, so that's going to change up the strats a little bit here. Daikena's going to have to go for an axe kill on the bat. tHiAgOcH has the liberty to go for the stopwatch because go for the back crit because the stopwatch allows him to go for a slightly faster backup kill if he misses it. So Daikena picks up his axe. He'll need 8 hearts to deal with the bat. Gotta be careful not to pick up a whip upgrade here. So tHiAgOcH does miss the bat crit. Gonna have him use a stopwatch to freeze the bat and put him up against the door. Daikena with an expert axe kill on the bat. Kind of how the axe kill works. You wait for the bat to start moving before you pick up that double shot, and then you just start throwing axes at him. So disparagement and strats is going to allow tHiAgOcH to take a little bit of a slight lead going into level 2. He can freeze the crushers in stage 6 with the stopwatch and walk underneath. Daikena is going to have to manipulate the crusher pattern to be able to walk underneath. That's going to cost him about a second there. Like I said, a 1 second difference in a small strat's not going to decide this race. Both runners coming up on the Medusa head boost. tHiAgOcH getting his boost. Daikena as well. So both runners. Heading into the crusher screen. You got going underneath with the stopwatch, like kind of doing a little bit of manip there in order to line up the crushers so he can just walk in one single pass. Both runners have their holy water and enough hits for the next candle to drop a double shot multiplier. And they'll be needing that double shot multiplier in order to stun lock this upcoming boss using the holy water to keep that Medusa head stun locked. And letting the whip deal the bulk of the damage. Clean fight from both runners. Like I said, this is still anyone's race up to this point. tHiAgOcH is going to have about a 2-second lead entering level 3. And of course, level 3 is one of the first equalizers in this match due to the platforming, bottomless pits, and enemies that seemingly have different patterns from one run to the next. tHiAgOcH going for the faster Fleeman boost that's going to allow him to pick up another quarter second on Daikena. So just slightly faster, this really is almost specifically just slightly faster strats on each stage. Had a little bit of problems with the birds, but he elects to play it safe there to make sure that the birds don't knock him into a pit. So both runners, Daikena, I believe, is on the Rosary drop. tHiAgOcH is on the Potion drop for level 3. So we'll see that play out. tHiAgOcH is going to try and get this bird to drop a potion. Doesn't get the frame. Opts to go for the damage boost off the Bone Pillar. Looks like Daikena going for the damage boost off the Fireball so he can use the... Potentially getting hit by the Fireball so he can walk through that Bone Pillar during Simon's iframe. While Simon has iframes on. Both runners coming up on the Stage 9 bridge. tHiAgOcH going for a Ouija bridge. Daikena going for the old school strat on the bridge. Where you whip the Bone Pillars and use the cross to deal with any airborne enemies. Both runners have their double shot with the cross. They're gonna set up for this mummy crit here. Both runners having no problem dealing with these two mummies. Using the cross to exploit a damage glitch in order to quick kill these mummies. So tHiAgOcH has a little bit more than a 2-second lead going into level 4, which is not saying much because the K-skip here is a 6-second swing. So both runners setting up the K-skip with a 3-whip buffer that allows them to do this strat without having to let go of right, and they can... allows both runners to get... I was gonna say... Takes out the randomization with the K-skip frame. So tHiAgOcH does get the K-skip. Daikena does not gets the right bat pattern, but obviously wasn't able to. Got knocked back from the bat, so he's going to miss the K-skip here. So that's a 6-second swing in favor, 6.5-second swing in favor of tHiAgOcH as he's in Fleeman Alley here. He's got to be careful because he is on the axe drop in the item table. By getting a few heart drops, he's able to navigate Fleeman Alley, and unfortunately Daikena picks up the axe. That's going to set him a little bit further back. As long as he's able to build up a double shot, he should have a pretty competitive chance against Frankenstein's monster with the double shot axe. tHiAgOcH going for the pause buffer to manipulate these bone dragons. And he's coming into the Frankenstein's monster fight. Use the holy water stun lock while he just deals the bulk of damage with the whip. And Frankenstein's monster is down on tHiAgOcH's end. Daikena's going to have to go for some variation of a whip-only kill on this boss. Does a good job of dodging these fireballs here. And that was an expert whip-only kill for Daikena here, so he is still very much in this race. despite getting an unfortunate axe drop in Fleeman Alley. tHiAgOcH gets a favorable skeleton pattern here. That way he does the screen with losing the fewest number of frames possible. See what pattern he gets. It's the fast bone pattern from that skeleton. Whipping the lower skeleton, he opts to go for the faster slow bone strat. Daikena gets a dagger drop from the skeleton. And unfortunately, that caused his holy water candle to be rewritten as a heart. So he's either he's going to set up to try and take a death, so he has his holy water. This stage is a lot harder to complete without it. So in this game, if you get two special items like a sub weapon, rosary potion, or something, the game can only load one of those items on the screen at once. So as a result, if you get a second special item that spawns in, so for example, 2 sub weapons on the screen, the second sub weapon will be overwritten as a heart. That's what happened to Daikena there. So decided to take an intentional death and reset up his multiplier with the holy water. That way, tHiAgOcH is just cruising through stage 14 right now. He's got very favorable health after picking up the safety meat. And he's entering stage 15 in much better shape than in the first race. Very clean run for him so far. All the strats that he's been going for have worked out to this point. He's got plenty of hearts to deal with the hallway upcoming in death. It looks like he's opting to go for bopping the bone pillar as opposed to trying to unlock it with the holy water. With how tight this race could be, I'm not sure if he's watching, but how tight this race could be, those 5 frames in his mind could be very important. Now tHiAgOcH has got death on stun lock. Going for the 7 holy water kill. And he is past death and in pretty good shape to take this race overall. However, Daikena is in position to strike should tHiAgOcH slip up on Dracula or any part of the clock tower. So he's got to continue. tHiAgOch's got to continue to execute in order to win this race. Although the way he's done this run so far, it wouldn't be a stretch for him to do that. So here, tHiAgOcH coming up on the bat bridge. He whips the first bat, and he's gonna carefully time a series of jumps, and then use the holy water to pick up the stopwatch without losing any frames here. Looks like that's third bat through a fireball, but he's able to dodge it. Looks like Death broke the stun lock there. Daikena is going to use the holy water to finish off Death. So that fight got a little bit hairy for a second, but he was able to get out of the way there. tHiAgOcH in the clock tower, picking up the safety meat. Like I said, he's got functionally a full health bar here. He would take 4 hits in this level to finish him off. Be interesting to see if Daikena skips the meat, knowing that he's behind. Or knowing or anticipating that he's behind this race. So tHiAgOcH entering the Dracula fight with 9 hearts. It's pretty much the standard number you see on a race here. So he's going to have 16 hearts for the Dracula fight. That's going to be enough hearts for him to go for a machine gun kill if he gets a 3 cycle. If he goes for the classic 3 cycle. So Dracula giving him the fast fireball. And he misses the crit. Doesn't take damage, so he still has a functional full health bar here. Going for the backup crit on Drax's 4th cycle. And he'll settle for a 5 cycle. So here comes the Cookie Monster. tHiAgOcH just got him on stun lock. He's got more than enough hearts. Looks like Daikena took an extra hit. Picked up a cross drop in the clock tower. Gotta be a little bit careful. Gotta watch out behind that bird. Finishes him off with the cross, so Daikena's in pretty good shape going into the Dracula fight. But tHiAgOcH does take round 2 with a sub 12 RTA time. That's 12.5 on his timer, but you have to account for the 9.5 seconds. Taken off, so that's a very good run. Anytime you can sub 12 in a race, it's a very, very good run. So we are heading for a tiebreaker match here. Both runner splitting the first two matches, so it's going to come down to a third race to see who moves on to the SpeedGaming Live's Castlevania Tournament semifinals. And that's the magic of a best-of-3 race. You got shaking off a very shaky first race. We switch over to Daikena's audio. It's in pretty good position for a 5 cycle. As he expertly takes out Dracula. Teabags him. Alright, he's got a cookie on Stunlock. He's got plenty of hearts to go for the machine gun kill. So he'll be finishing off Dracula in short order. Oh. Like I said, both runners coming down to a third match. This will come down to a third match. So far in this tournament, we've had 2 races come down to a third match. Cronin versus SP Wolf. Well, actually, I should say 3. And then Implosion Retro Gaming against tHiAgOcH. And Oh Heck It's Snack versus Implosion. Those are the 3 races previously in this tournament that did require a third match in order to decide things. So, recapping this race so far, Daikena won the first match with a clean run overall. tHiAgOcH flexing in round 2 with an 11:56 RTA time. So it's gonna, like I said, if it comes down to speed, I think tHiAgOcH has the edge. But if it comes down to execution, I think Daikena does have a chance to take round 3. So we're waiting for both runners to start up the third and final race. It looks like they are ready to go. So this match will decide it all. Winner moves on to play Level Engine in the bottom half of the bracket semifinals. And the loser will be eliminated from the tournament. So in a third race, every strat does matter. tHiAgOcH getting the triple zombie pattern, opts to go for the damage boost strat there. See if it could come down to who picks up a stopwatch in level 1, who cave skip, all different tricks in this game that have it's pretty significant time swing if one gets the trick and one does not. So both runners are unable to manipulate the stopwatch drop from the zombies and take a hit on the stairs, so they're pretty much in sync at this point. It's going to come down to stopwatch. tHiAgOcH able to get the backup stopwatch from the bat. Daikena just a little bit out in front and gets the heart drop instead of the sub weapon drop. So this will play out on the upcoming fight here. tHiAgOcH will go for the back crit, whereas Daikena is going for the axe strats here. tHiAgOcH opting to walk down from the platform in order to set up the back crit manip here. And he's just a little bit late on that back crit. I think he was only 1 frame off. But he was able to finish him off using the stopwatch. Daikena able to, once again, expertly kill the bat boss with the axe. So because of the difference in strats, tHiAgOcH is going to take a little bit of an edge leaving level 1, but Daikena is literally right on his heels. So tHiAgOcH has the advantage of the stopwatch in level 2, which he can use the stopwatch to save about a second in stage 6 with the Crusher Room. Daikena had a little bit of trouble with the Axe Knight and Bat, opting to just take 1 instance of damage and not... opting to take an instant damage boost into the stairs. So tHiAgOcH is going to try and build up his heart count up to 6. 5 for the stopwatch on the Crushers, and then 6 so he can get a double shot multiplier on the Holy Water after he freezes the Crushers. Both runners entering stage 6 in the Crushers. You're going to see the different in stress that are available to them. Whereas tHiAgOcH can just walk through there immediately. Daikena's got to wait for the crushers to line up in order to go through there. And unfortunately, Daikena misses the bat boost. That's going to cost him a sizable amount of time. But he is able to recover. He takes the casual route up that section. And he did hit the bone pillar with his holy water, so he should have a double shot in the next candle. tHiAgOcH entering the Medusa fight. Pretty good fight overall. The whip rhythm was very nice. Like I said, it's going to come down to this race will come down to mistakes, and that mistake in level 2 by Daikena may be enough. Possibly to the side. tHiAgOcH is having a very solid run going through level 2. And we'll start level 3. But he's got to be careful. Even though he's got a pretty nice lead here, he's got to execute this level because there are many places you can die here. As he expertly hits that faster Fleeman boost strat. They're kind of going for the classic Fleeman boost. tHiAgOcH does get a high bird pattern, but is able to maneuver around that. Again with the medium bird pattern. It'll come down to it's gonna come down to how the bridge goes. See if tHiAgOcH is able to manipulate the potion from the bird. Able to manipulate that potion, so he's going to be able to walk through this screen without having to worry about either bone pillar or any sort of platforming whatsoever. Daikena picks up the rosary drop, so he'll get past the first bone pillar, but he's got to be a little bit careful because that rosary drop does put him on the same drop table for an axe in level 4. tHiAgOcH going for the Ouija bridge because he picked up that potion drop in Stage 8. It's going to take him 4 drops before that axe comes in Fleeman Alley. So he's in a pretty comfortable drop table overall. Coming up on this mummy fight, he's got his double shot, so he should be able to easily deal with this boss. Daikena not too far behind. He's got his double shot. He's going to deal with these mummies as well. So tHiAgOcH will be starting level 4 shortly. That's pretty comfortable lead that where K-skip isn't a factor, isn't going to cost him the lead. Although, he'll still want to hit it, because he wants to keep that lead as long as he can. And of course, he expertly gets the perfect frame for the K-skip. He's putting the pressure on Daikena to stay close at this point, because he is just racing at a high level right now. Daikena also getting the perfect stopwatch frame for the high bat pattern there. Does get an axe drop. I'm sure his heart skipped a beat there, but fair to have that axe drop behind you. And unfortunately, he fell down, so he's going to take a death. And it's just unfortunate for him. He was nipping at tHiAgOcH's heels after that cave skip. And tHiAgOcH does take a knockback and takes another knockback from a Fleeman. But fortunately, he's out of the room. Like I said, Daikena is close enough that if tHiAgOcH slips up against Dracula, he's in position. Although he's going to have to hope for that mistake to have any chance of advancing after this race. tHiAgOcH coming up on Frankenstein's monster. He's going to go for that Holy Water stun lock kill. He easily deals with Frankenstein's monster there. See if he gets the Jones, and threw that Holy Water just a bit early, so no Jones for tHiAgOcH. So we're going to have to deduct 10,000 swag points. Well, so that's probably the only thing that's gone wrong for him in this race so far. He's in a pretty commanding lead going into level 5. And unfortunately, he picks up a dagger drop from the Fleaman, but fortunately, this screen has a holy water candle, so that's a somewhat easy recovery there. There's plenty of enemies to hit if he wants to go for increasing his multiplier. He's going to need to build it up to a triple before he gets to death. So if he goes for the... Alright, he's going to go get the secret multiplier block. There are a few of them in this game. You saw in level 1, there's one right there. I'm not sure where else in the game they exist, but... Given that this stage has 2 possible sub-weapon drops, having a multiplier in the block is certainly pretty good game design, I would say. So now Daikena is starting level 5. Gonna have to put pedal to the metal here. And hope that tHiAgOcH doesn't continue his run of solid play here. tHiAgOcH entering stage 14. He's gonna get his triple shot axe because Axe Knights are gonna... Axe Knights take 9 hits to kill, and the Holy Water is gonna take care of that Axe Knight easily. He's got his triple shot. And at least 10 hearts going into stage 15. His resources are in pretty good shape. Daikena picking up the safety meat in stage 13. tHiAgOcH picked it up not too long ago as well. We missed it before. The Holy Water is very effective in this stage because not only does it stun lock enemies, it also disables collision detection with enemies stunned by the Holy Water. And in level 5, that little property of Holy Water is abused quite a lot, actually. That's how both runners are able to walk through Axe Knights, despite jumping into their hitbox. tHiAgOcH has 6 hearts going into death. He'll have 7, so he's in good shape here. He's got death on that stun lock, is going for the 7 water kill. Expertly takes care of death. I mentioned because this clean run so far, tHiAgOcH is in a pretty good position to take this match as long as he finishes off Dracula on the first life. Going to be starting up the Bat Bridge pretty soon. The key to doing that screen is to making sure you do it without losing any frames on this screen, and because of that you can predict the bat patterns as long as you're on schedule here. And the jumps on this screen are carefully timed so you can manipulate the bats to in order to shoot the fireballs away from you. Or if you've done the screen plenty of times, you can just not panic when a fireball comes careening right at you. tHiAgOcH entering the clock tower, whereas Daikena just finished off death. See if tHiAgOcH goes for the safety meter or not here. Given how big a lead he is, I think he will go for it. And unfortunately, he picks up a cross drop, but fortunately for him, he's going to get favorable Fleaman patterns. So worst case scenario, you may take 1 or 2 hits before leaving the clock tower. And the answer is 0. So he's going to get his cross a little bit earlier than normal. He's got 15 hearts, and he'll have more than enough hearts to deal with Dracula. Even if he gets a 2 cycle, he's got plenty of hearts for that. So we'll see if tHiAgOcH is able to seal the deal here. He's coming up on Dracula. Right for a slow pattern. Alright, slow pattern, but unfortunately he takes a hit at the end, so he's going to have to sell for the 3 cycle crit, which he hits. And unfortunately, Dracula decided to patrol on third cycle, and unfortunately, tHiAgOcH takes a death. As a result, Dracula was not playing nice on that one. So the runners are basically functionally tied here. Perhaps Daikena taking a slight lead here, because he doesn't have to reset the room. It's going to come down to 3 versus a 5 cycle in this race, I believe. So, the third race coming down to who fights Dracula quicker is going to be a much more fitting way to end this match, in my opinion. So Daikena dealing 6 damage between the first 2 cycles. He's probably going to have to settle for a 6th cycle. Fortunately, tHiAgOcH is in a bad spot here. Got Holy Water but no multiplier. But he's going to try and get some backup crits here to try and speed it up. Daikena has finished off Dracula, and he's got his triple shot. A little bit short-handed on hearts, but he's gonna just do the double whip strat. tHiAgOcH is gonna try and survive here. Dracula is dead, but he does have only a single shot. Daikena does pull off the upset in round 2. See if both runners want to go for offer a post-game interview. tHiAgOcH one hit away from dealing with Drac. Drac is down, and he finishes with a pretty close time overall. Pretty good racing from tHiAgOcH and Daikena there. And GG to both runners. It was a very tight race overall. Both runners split the first 2 matches. And Daikena did a pretty good job of recovering from a death in level 4. And was in pretty good position to take the match if tHiAgOcH would just slip up at Dracula, which ended up playing out that way here. So Daikena does take the match. He will move on to play Level Engine in the semi-finals in this Castlevania tournament. We'll see if both runners are interested in a post-game interview, like I said. It's like Daikena's in the server. So Daikena does take the match. He will move on to play Level Engine in the semi-finals in this Castlevania tournament. Alright, looks like Daikena is here.
Hey, what's up?
Congratulations on the win. You'll be moving on to play Level Engine in the semifinals.
Thank you. I'm stressed out right now. I had 2 terrible race 2 and 3. Everything went wrong. On the second race, I dropped an axe. I dropped a cross. I missed the holy water because I dropped a knife on level 5. I mean, it was hell.
Yeah, you actually recovered pretty well. You took a death in level 4 in the second race, but you recovered and you put yourself in pretty good position in case tHiAgOcH messed up the Dracula fight, and you ended up taking a short lead there when tHiAgOcH died on the last, I think it was right before, at the last part of the Dracula fight, in that first one, so incredible persistence on your part.
Yeah, thank you. I thought he would win on the third race, but apparently he died on Dracula. Hey, tHiAgOcH, GG.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. How's everyone? Good morning.
Yeah, you had some pretty good races there. You were got an 11:56 on that second race, and it looked like you had a pretty good lead going into Dracula in that last race.
Actually, Freeland, I was really surprised with my run after the first time I choke because my controller stopped to work, and then I started to get nervous because when I do something wrong, I just start to get nervous, and then I started to put like people who were cheering me on first and try to concentrate, and I lost the first, but then I back really solid on the second one. The third one was mine, but it's totally my fault just to die on Dracula. I didn't watch the race. I didn't see what Daikena did on his run. So for me, it was like me against myself, you know? It's not like I'm facing against him. It's like my skills, my nerves, and anything else that we can put on in one run.
I was gonna say, for someone that was very nervous, you hit quite a few tricks. I think you ended up going 3 for 3 on Cave Skip. In that one, you got a 3 cycle. You got the crit on Dracula in that last race.
Oh, nice.
And what I got more nervous about was I dropped the cross on the clock tower. I was like, oh god, what I'm gonna do now? And then wait, tHiAgOcH, calm down. What you would do without the stopwatch? And I just wait the harpy pass through, and then I jump. I just walk calmly to don't take hits. And I was like, if I pass this part, I just act like I'm gonna grab the cross and keep going. That's what I'm gonna do. Because usually when we do like weird drops or mistakes like that, we just choke on races.
Yeah, this
Because
is a
we
tough
got
game to play off script.
yeah,
Yeah.
we just got really, really nervous about everything that happens. But I'm very proud of my progress on this tournament. And GG for Daikena.
GG, thank you. I mean, you seem to be more consistent to get 11:50, 12 minutes time races, but I guess I got back on my feet pretty well on the third race. I didn't lose my temper, and that's what got me the win, I think. But thank you.
Yeah, no problem, sir. Good luck on the next.
Yeah. Do I already know who I will?
Yeah,
be
you'll be
facing?
playing Level Engine. He
Okay.
won his match on Friday.
Okay, nice.
Wait, sorry, Thursday.
Okay.
All right, so either of you two have any last things to say before we head on out?
Not really. Thank you, tHiAgOcH, for the race. GG.
Yeah, thank you, Daikena, again. And thank you, everyone from SpeedGaming to follow up this tournament. It was really exciting. And thank you for everyone who supported me and cheered me on. These days were not being easy for me in real life, but we have to try to pair between like being speedrunner and in real life issues. So yeah, thank you all.
So for everyone watching at home, make sure you follow both these runners. Daikena and tHiAgOcH, they both stream on Twitch. tHiAgOcH is a pretty good Castlevania runner, 1141 PB. Daikena not that far behind with an 1150.
My PB is 11:44, but it's not on speedrun.com.
Yeah, I think both your PBs aren't listed on speedrun.com then. That's the case. So yeah, both of them very highly skilled Castlevania runners. You want to follow them and watch them crush this game over and over again.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Yeah, good day, everyone.
A little bit of closing thoughts here. Like I said, Daikena is going to be playing Level Engine with his PB 1144. Their PBs are only about 1 second apart, so it's going to be any like with this race, it's going to be anyone's race. It's been a pretty close tournament overall. We've seen some upset wins up and down every part of this tournament. Shouldn't be too much different going into the semifinal matches, which in the top half of the bracket, you're going to have 2 Snack race against SB Wolf later today, 2 p.m. Eastern, and then we'll let everyone know when Daikena is able to schedule his match with Level Engine. That'll be the other semifinal match in this tournament. So signing off here, I'm Freelance1787. Have a good rest of your day, and enjoy the rest of the SpeedGaming Live 2020 event.